You started learning German, full of motivation, only to feel discouraged a few weeks later because you weren't progressing as fast as you'd expected. Maybe you thought, I'm too slow, I keep forgetting things, I don't have the time. Maybe I'm just not good at languages. If that's you, this video is for you. I want to help you build the right mindset for learning German, one that's patient, realistic, and designed for long-term success, especially if you're just starting out or learning a foreign language for the very first time. If we haven't met yet, hallo und herzlich willkommen. I'm Salome, a native German teacher, polyglot, and founder of the German Fluency Academy, where I help beginners go from zero knowledge to confident and conversational in German, step by step. If you're ready for clear, supportive guidance, the best place to begin is with my free beginners workshop. It's linked in the description box below. Now let's talk about the mindset shifts that really make a difference, not just for German, but for language learning as a whole. Number one, consistency over intensity. The first and most powerful shift is this. Consistency matters more than intensity. You don't need to study for hours every single day. I really feel for those students who come to me completely frustrated after doing those 6 or 10 weeks intensive courses where you study 3 to 4 hours per day, only to overload your brain with more new information the next day. Language learning doesn't work like this. Your brain needs time to process and for it to sink in. It takes time. That's why consistency is way more important than intensity. Even 10 to 15 minutes per day can create a real change if you stick with it. Think of learning German like a plant. You don't need to flood it with water, you just need to water it regularly. I really like this metaphor of a plant because that leads me to my next point. What else do you need when growing a plant? Yes, patience. Be patient with the progress. One of the biggest traps new learners fall into is thinking, I should be further by now. But here's the truth. Language learning takes time and that's totally okay. Becoming comfortable in German isn't supposed to happen overnight and it's not a race. Progress is often slower than you expect, but deeper than you realize. The words and patterns you're exposed to every day are slowly sinking in, even if you don't see instant results. So give yourself grace. You're not behind. You're building a skill that takes time and that's going to last if done correctly. Number 3, expect ups and downs. There will be days when everything clicks and days when nothing makes sense. That's totally normal. In fact, I've been through this multiple times myself. Motivation will rise and fall. Some weeks you'll feel unstoppable and making huge amount of progress, and other weeks life will get in the way. That doesn't mean you're failing and you're not falling behind. Think of language learning like a hike. Some parts are steep, some are flat. Sometimes it rains, sometimes the sun is shining. But as long as you keep going, you're still moving forward and you'll eventually reach your goal. Which leads me to my next point. Set realistic personal goals. So instead of just saying, I want to be fluent one day, ask yourself, what would fluency look like for me right now? Because that's different for everybody. Fluency stems from the Latin word fluere, which just means to flow. So in other words, to have the ability to speak a language smoothly and without significant interruption. So maybe that's having small talk with your neighbors without switching to English, or introducing yourself confidently in a job interview, or understanding your German relatives and having a conversation with them. Whatever it is, start with a goal that is meaningful to you, and then build from there. Number 5, use the language. Don't just study it. I know with German it's so easy to get lost in grammar books because there's literally a ton of them, and especially for you introverts, that's the comfort zone. Because technically you are making progress, right? Because you're studying. But are you really using the language? The best classroom is the real world. Books and apps, they're all great, but they're just the beginning. Real progress happens when you actually step out of that comfort zone and say Guten Morgen to your coworker or your local barista, or start writing your grocery list in German, or respond to a comment on social media in German. Even if it's just a few words, using German builds confidence and muscle memory way faster than just passively reviewing it. Number 6, mistakes are normal and necessary. Let's talk about the fear of saying things wrong. If you're waiting to speak perfect German before you open your mouth, you'll be waiting forever. Mistakes aren't setbacks, they are stepping stones. Each one teaches your brain something new, and the people who make the most mistakes usually progress the fastest because they're trying. So say the sentence anyway. Laugh when it comes out funny. Don't take yourself too seriously. The most important thing is to keep going. Most native speakers respect effort more than accuracy. And if someone does make fun of your German, it says far more about them than it will ever about you. I want to take a moment to actually talk about this because it is real. People get mocked or laughed at for trying to speak German, and if that's ever happened to you, I'm truly sorry. I know it's hurtful and it's unfair. Here's how I want you to reframe it. I actually feel sorry for the kind of person who needs to put someone down for trying their best in a new language. Why? Because it usually means one of two things. Either they've never learned a foreign language themselves, or they tried and struggled and now they carry that frustration. Because anyone who's really been through the experience of learning another language, of stumbling through grammar, of trying to express yourself with limited words, would never laugh at someone else for doing the same. They'd respect it. And beyond that, it tells me they've likely seen very little of the world. Anyone who's spent time abroad knows what it feels like to be in a place where you don't understand the language, to try and order food, ask for directions, or connect with people and not be sure if you're saying things right. It can be scary. It's humbling. So when someone mocks a non-native speaker, I don't feel anger, I just feel sadness. Sadness that they've lived such a narrow life and haven't had the opportunity to grow through that kind of experience. Now let's shift focus, okay? What does it say about you that you're speaking German, even if it's not perfect? It says you had the courage to go to a new country or even move there, to travel there, to start over, to build a life, find a job, make connections, and commit to learning something completely new. That takes strength, and that takes heart, and it takes guts. So yes, maybe your German isn't perfect yet, but the fact that you're even trying, that already puts you miles ahead of the people who don't. Don't let anyone take that away from you. And the good news is you don't have to do this alone. Having a support system makes all the difference. Knowing you're part of a community, that there are people who just get it and that you have guidance when you need it, that can carry you through those tough moments. If you'd like to be part of something like that, I invite you to join us inside the German Fluency Academy. The best place to start is with my free training for beginners. It's linked in the description box below. You've got this and you're not alone. Wow, this felt very personal. My God, because I know exactly how it feels, and it took some time to build this mindset muscle. It wasn't easy, trust me on that. If you want to know more about my language learning journeys, I've actually made an entire video on that. I'll link it below. All right, moving on. Number 7, think of yourself as a language learner. Finally, start seeing yourself as someone who is learning German and not just someone who's trying to. Identity shapes behavior. So instead of saying, I'm bad at languages, say, I'm learning a new skill. Instead of thinking, I'm not conversational yet, think, I'm becoming conversational. The shift might seem very small, but it actually changes how you show up, especially on those tough days. And number 8, enjoy the journey. At its core, language learning is about connection with people, cultures, and parts of yourself you haven't discovered yet. So don't just chase results. Enjoy the process. Celebrate the moments that make you smile, like understanding a sentence in a German movie, or ordering something at a restaurant and actually getting what you wanted. Getting a compliment from a native speaker. These moments aren't just small wins. They're the reason we learn languages in the first place. We do a win sharing every single week inside our community in our live calls. Students share their wins, and I say this every single week. The small wins are just as important, if not even more important, as the big wins because they build momentum. So if you're just getting started, here is the mindset I want you to carry. Be consistent, not perfect. Be patient with your progress. Expect ups and downs because life happens and you're going to keep going anyways. Set personal goals that excite you. Use the language wherever you can and don't fear mistakes. They're there to learn from. And above all, enjoy the journey. If you'd like more guidance on how to build confidence with German, check out my free beginner workshop below. And if you want my free weekly tips and lessons to keep your momentum going, don't forget to subscribe. I'll be back next week with another lesson for you guys. Das ist alles für heute. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen und bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!